Hello there, Dori Soukup here, and we are going to be talking about part 4 in the Medical Aesthetics Success book. So do you have your copy handy? You should. If you don't have one yet, you can go to medicalaestheticssuccess.com and get your copy. Today we are going over part 4, Success Without Being Salesy. And today's chapter is chapter 10. We are going to discuss financial health, your business in the black. As you know, the subtitle of this book is Your Business in the Black. And some younger generation don't really understand what your business in the black means. Though I think we might have covered that in chapter 1, but I think it's time to discuss it again. So back in the accounting days, when they did accounting by hand, anything in the black was profitable for your business. And if you found red ink on your balance sheet, that was a bad thing. So the phrase, your business in the black, means that your business is super profitable and successful. So it's all good. So we love being in the black. So I hope your business in the black too. And in case it's not, after today, you're going to gain insight on how you can actually make certain adjustments, implement some strategies and some systems so your business can be in the black. So I really want to start with the first quote in that book, and that is, to succeed in business, you must have a sales process. So if you want your business to be in the black, you have got to have a sales process. And that quote is by yours truly, because we have worked with so many professionals that when they first come to us, their business is not so profitable. And one of the main reasons their business is not profitable is not due to their expertise or knowledge or anything like that. It's just really lacking a sales process. And that is one thing they really don't teach you in medical school. When you go to medical school, you're learning all the science, chemistry, all the ins and outs on how to become a medical professional, but not one class usually focuses on making money, because mainly the medical industry is driven by insurance. But now that we have medical spas that are cash business, it's very important to focus on sales. And you know, a lot of people think that sales is a dirty little word. We hear people saying, you want me to do what? You want me to sell? Are you crazy? It doesn't work that way. So that's exactly what we're talking about today. So welcome everyone. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, we're on Zoom, we're filming, so this will be on YouTube also. And if you've missed past episodes, so make sure you go to YouTube, to the Inspiration Management YouTube channel, subscribe while you're there, leave us some comments, and you can watch every episode. But not only the book gathering, but also you can watch many other videos that we produce for you to help you with your business. So I want to say thank you to my team here. We have few of them helping us with this production. I think Danny's manning the social media, so you have questions, go ahead and enter them in. We love hearing from you. We have Sharon on Zoom and Nakia, and of course David, our wonderful producer. So everybody's here to make this show possible. So again, if you have not left us a review, guys, come on, don't be so stingy. You gotta go on Google, or if you bought your book from Amazon, leave us a review on Amazon. We'd love to hear from you and give us feedback. So now we already...
Some hearts on Instagram and some thumbs up on Facebook.
Oh, thank you. We love that. And of course, we have some questions that were already submitted to us. So we're going to be answering questions, and also the ones that just come in now. So what is a sales process? Do you have one? We would love to hear from you right now if you have one. Like once you generate a lead, what do you do with it? What is that process? Who takes care of all these leads, the direct messages that you get on Instagram, the emails that you receive, the phone calls that come in from brand new prospects? What is the process? What do we put them through? And if you don't have one, you really need to think it through and orchestrate it to the best way possible so you can turn them into high-paying client. So I have my friend here with me, Arthur. Meet Arthur the lion. And I have a little analogy I want to share with you, and I want my team here to help me with this, by the way. So who's the fastest animal in the jungle?
The cheetah.
That's right, the cheetah is. Who is the tallest animal in the jungle?
The giraffe.
That's right. And who's the biggest animal in the jungle?
The elephant.
The elephant is for sure. And who's the smartest animal in the jungle?
The fox.
And who is the king of the jungle?
The lion.
The lion. Is he the biggest?
No.
Is he the fastest?
No.
Is he the smartest?
No.
Is he the tallest?
No.
No. But why is he the king of the jungle?
Because he wants to be.
Because he's fearless. He's courageous. He decided he is the man. He is the king of the jungle. And that's really what these last 3 chapters in the book are all about. It's about you being fearless, you being courageous, you asking for money, you making recommendations so you can really get paid your true worth. So I don't want to hear any more excuses. My spa is not the biggest. I don't have as many team members. Maybe I'm not so busy. This and that, one excuse after another after another. So you don't have to be the biggest. You don't have to be the fanciest. You don't have to be in a great location. You really don't. All you need to be is fearless, courageous, own your ground, because that's what the lion does. He owns his grounds, and they keep moving forward. And that's what my big message is to you. So own it, and let's implement these sales processes that we're going to talk about today, so you too can be the king of the industry in your community. Does that sound good?
Woo.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let's start with some questions, you guys. What do we have going on here?
So we have John here. How can I get my team to sell, Dori? We have products that just sit there getting ready to expire.
Oh no, that's not a good thing, John. We don't want products to expire. Well, that tells me you don't have a system in place, actually. And actually, it goes beyond that. This sounds like you need a lot of systems and processes in place, because that should not really be the case. It sounds to me like your team is not buying in on why it's important to recommend, whether it's upgrading treatments or whether it's actually home care products, either way. So I have a couple of advice for you. One is you should get your hands on the Don't Sell, Recommend program that we offer. We teach in it the PRIDE system. This is a must in your success library, because every single team member needs to be practicing the PRIDE system. So the PRIDE system teaches a whole philosophy, not only the process on how to make recommendations, but literally we start with the mindset of the team and why it's important to recommend. So, I used to go on the road all the time and speak at conferences globally and do a lot of events and shows. And I would ask the audience, why did you choose a career in the industry? Why are you doing what you are doing? You could have done any kind of work on the planet. Why are you in the medical spa or spa industry? And the answer I get most often is because I want to help people. Well, it turns out that you're really not helping people, because we might help them when they come into the treatment room, But then if we don't tell them what they need when they go home, what they need to use at home between treatments, then we're failing them. We're not helping them. You know, I used to suffer from acne when I was younger, and my husband used to buy me gift certificates to go to spas all the time and get facials. And sure enough, I would go in and get facial after facial after facial, and no one would recommend anything to me. And I would end up going to department stores not knowing what would be good for my skin. And I would buy stuff and use it a little bit, see that it didn't work. So they failed me for years. The industry failed me and failing many other people for years because they're afraid to make a recommendation. They don't want to be a salesperson. They don't want to ask for money. And that's a terrible place to be. So we refer that as delivering a complete guest experience. So the first thing you want to do, John, is get into the mindset of your team. Make sure that they understand that this is part of their professional obligation and that it's a requirement for working with you. So you definitely need to implement some systems in place to turn things around, because the product should not be getting dusty and they should not expire, my friend. So reach out, we can help you. That was a good question. Thank you for asking. Yes?
So I have Sam. She's asking, whose job is it technically to sell these products?
Oh, it's everyone's job. Every single person on the team needs to take responsibility to know the products, first of all, to use the products, second, and then third, to recommend them. Because if you're not using your own products, you're not going to be able to recommend anything. That's a must. And you know, there's a lot of owners that, you know, don't give their team products as part of their rewards or recognition. You want your team to use them. You should give it to them at cost, if nothing else, plus maybe shipping and handling or whatever, but they should be using the products. And every single person needs to be knowledgeable and be able to make those recommendations. So it's definitely not only one person, it's everyone. Good question. Yes?
Yeah, we have Al here. He said, do you have scripts for selling effectively?
Oh, do we have scripts? Absolutely. We have scripts for everything. We're the scripting kings and queens. Yes, we do. Actually, we have the Don't Sell Recommend also has a manual. So it has a video, it has a presentation, it has an audio, and it has a manual with all the scripts. Because we really do have a certain way to make the recommendation, and all that is written out. See, we believe in every person in your facility has a role. It's just like in the movie. I think we talked about that a little bit in previous episodes. But once you hire someone, you literally need to give them their script. So, you know, whether it's starting with the employee and orientation manual, that's where we start, sharing all the expectations, the performance, the rewards, the consequences. So it starts here. And then you want to be able to continue that with the role manual. So if I'm a provider, we have the provider manual. If you're a guest relations, there's a guest relations manual. And that's really what training and developing a team is all about. So if you have all these roles defined, you have the expectations, you have the roles, you have the scripts, what they need to say, how they need to say it. Come on, you can't help but succeed then. But if you let them wing it and then them come up with their own scripts, it's not fair to them, it's not fair to you, and you're not setting them up for success. So when someone takes on a position with your team, they really need to be in the known. They need to know exactly what needs to happen for them to reach those goals that you want them to reach. Hope that answered your question.
We got some thumbs up over here.
Great. We like thumbs up, hearts, comments. Keep them coming. All right, what else can we answer?
Let's talk about our team buy-in. Because we had some comments about how they like the philosophy of it, but they had struggle getting their team on board.
Yeah, that really starts with the hiring process. When you're interviewing someone, and you should really be using the Clarity hiring system that we teach. And when you apply the Clarity hiring system, from the beginning, you set those expectations of what exactly you want your team to do when working with you. And when you're clear with the position description, the goals, the targets, your philosophies, your vision, all your expectations, and they know coming in that those are part of the requirements of working with you, well, that's going to cut half of the pain that you're going to experience. So they need to buy in from the beginning. So once they buy in on your orientation and your employee manual and all the guidelines of what it means to work with you, then you need to train them and show them why, what's in it for them to actually recommend. Why is it important? So no one should just show up to work and not give back value based on the revenue or the money or the income that they're generating. Because a business cannot last if they're just paying employees and they're not gaining value. So that's part of the whole buy-in, is explaining to them how the business works and why it's important to generate revenue so they can have job security, so we can reinvest in the business so it can grow and we can be in the black. That's what you need to do. So it's all about communicating your message, your intentions, and what their exact role is all about. Sounds good? All right. What was your favorite thing in this chapter? I would love to hear from you as you went through this material. I don't know if you had some takeaways that you... I love the part where I talk about how the actual process, like the awareness phase, the interest, the evaluation, and then the decisions. Those are all very important things for everybody to understand. And then the purchase phase, and then the repurchase phase. And that's really part of the whole sales process, on how they have conversations with their clients to influence decisions. Actually, I just listened. I have one of our high achiever members sent me a recording of her consultation. And I listened to it this morning. I literally listened to the whole thing because it was over an hour. And, she did such a great job because she's been implementing a lot of the things that we talked about. And where she kind of hiccuped a little bit was at the end, when she started asking for the money and the person couldn't afford the high ticket program, and she didn't quite got the part to ask for the money. But she did all these phases like perfectly until she got to that point. And I think that's where most people fall, is asking for the money. And you shouldn't be afraid to ask for the money, because people know they have to pay for things. It's not free. So you just need to have an easy way, practice it, so you don't feel uncomfortable asking for it. So that would be a very important thing. And definitely we want them to purchase and repurchase from us all the time. And I love this other quote. Actually, I was interested in these. These are my quotes here. This is a business. You're not playing house with expensive medical aesthetic toys for free. Because that's what you have. You have hundreds of thousands of dollars in lasers. And they're sitting there. I was on location one time. And literally they had two cool sculpting machines in the closet. No lie. This is I can't make this stuff up. I really can't. I'm like, oh, look what we have here. I'm like, why are they in the closet? Oh, nobody is selling them. Nobody is selling cool sculpting treatments. Do you know how much 2 cool sculpting machines cost? that's over $300,000 sitting in a closet.
We got some likes over here.
Like, are you kidding me? How can you have a cool sculpting, 2 of them in a closet? Because your team doesn't know how to sell cool sculpting treatments. That breaks my heart. That should not happen. That should not happen. Anyway, what other questions do we have?
It goes right into Joanne's because she wants to overcome her fear when she's recommending treatments and different products for her clients. She freaks out about sharing the price.
Yeah, that happens a lot actually. And when you get to the money, if you've done everything else right in your presentation, because you're really presenting, whether it's a small little recommendation in the treatment room, or whether you're actually doing an entire get to know you consultation where you're trying to recommend a high ticket program, they need to be sold on why they need what you're recommending. And that really starts with you identifying their concerns first. So I talk about this in the book. I learned how to sell from a long-time friend of mine. I was 19 years old when I entered the hospitality industry. And I didn't know anything. I mean, what do you know at 19? I mean, I was smart, young, driven, all those things, but I didn't know. Nobody taught me how to sell. So Jim was the best insurance salesman in the country. This guy was the sharpest thing. So he liked me and took me under his wing. And he had me understand what the sales process is all about. And he told me this, and I have applied this since then. I mean, I have been practicing what he taught me from that day forward. He said to me, Dori, the selling process is very easy. All you have to do is find out what people's concerns or problems are, have that conversation, and then you offer a solution based on those concerns and problems. And if those pain points that they have are really there, and you stir them up, and you get a commitment as to why they want to address these pain points, then selling becomes very easy, because all you're doing is you're providing a solution for their pain. So let's put this into the MedSpa industry or spa industry or wellness, sexual health, whatever. So somebody comes to you and they fill out a form and they say, I have concerns with this, 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 and that. And you sit down and say, how committed are you to really addressing these concerns? And you get them talking about these concerns. And then you say, you know what? I have good news. All those can be addressed by this treatment program that I'm going to design for you. So I take these problems and then I give them the solutions. And the solutions are your treatments and your home care products. So of course those solutions and home care products have a price. So then it should be no problem, because they asked you for help because they filled out that form. So it should not be a problem for you to say, and to get these results that you told me you so much want, it's going to require an investment of about $6,000. You say the price, and then you say you have options for payment. We take credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, or you can write a check. How would you like to handle that investment in your wellness, in your beauty, in your whatever it is that you're selling? And that's it. They're going to tell you two things. They're either going to tell you, yes, I want to get started, or they're going to tell you, no, I can't afford it. And that's exactly what happened with that conversation that I was listening to this morning the lady that she was doing the consultation with said, I can't afford the $6,000. Then all you have to say is, I understand. What would be an affordable amount for you? And you get that number. And then you go to the priorities of what is the most important treatment that they want to have. And then you just address that. And then they can come back and get the rest or offer different payment plans or whatever you want to do with them. So have no fear. You need to be the lion. What are you afraid of? Them saying no? And so what? So what if they say no? Some people are going to buy. Some people are not. Your professional obligation is to make the recommendation. It's up to them to tell you yes or no. And that's it. That's it. But if you get that into your head and you get the courage that a lion has and be fearless, then you have nothing to worry about. You just make the recommendation and so many people are going to buy and so many people are not. But at the end of the day, you fulfilled your purpose. And that's what this is all about. You helping people. So there. Thank you for your question. Yes.
So Lillian was wondering, what if someone came to her medical spa and they came there just for Botox, but you noticed something about them that they needed, how do you propose they interject and ask them if they would like a filler as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. And that happens all the time, by the way. Let's face it, Botox is the number one treatment in a medical spa. And most people don't know better than what else to ask for because that's what they, I'll go in and get some Botox. But the fact is, a lot of people need more than that. But that's where you go back to the form that they filled out. Your intake form is one of the most important things in the recommending process, you guys, because that opens up the door for you as to what you can recommend to them. So let's say she filled up the form and on the form it said fine lines and wrinkles, loss of volume, loss of elasticity, whatever else, her maybe double chin, this and that. So it is your professional obligation to make other recommendations. So the conversation should go something like this. Dori, I know you reserved a Botox treatment today, which we're going to definitely do, and I'm going to help you with these fine lines and wrinkles around here. But I noticed you have beautiful features, and there are some other treatments we can do to enhance them. I just would like to recommend a couple of things, and it's up to you if you want to do them or not. And just hold their face and say, I would love to do some fillers for your cheek to give you some lift. I would love to define the jawline here. I would love to plump up a little bit of your upper lip or all your lips. And your entire look will be complete. You will look absolutely amazing. Now, the price for this, for a difference of between what the Botox would have been plus the fillers, for a difference of a couple of $1,000s, you'll be able to have the Botox and the fillers to give you that nice, complete, ageless look. So let's go ahead and do both for you today. Great. That's it. And they're either going to say yes or they are going to say no. But at least you made the recommendation, and in your heart, you know they would look better if they did it. And that's it. Again, own your ground. Be free to make the recommendations because you are the expert, and help them. Help them look their best. That's what we're talking about today. Good question. Yes?
I have one from Sheila. She seems very enthusiastic. So Sheila, okay, you speak with such confidence on selling, and I am nowhere near there, Dori. if I can gain confidence with the membership, where do I sign up?
Yes. I hear that often. People love the way I speak, which I am so blessed. But you know what? That is just years of experience and perfecting my skills. So anybody can do this. Anybody. You just have to sit and study. I am committed to be a student. And if you want to be the student that you can be, you just sign up on MedSpa Biz University. Go to inspirationmanagement.com. Look at all the different membership levels we have. And you can talk to one of our team members. And literally everything I'm telling you is on that MedSpa Biz University, like almost word for word. I can close my eyes and just repeat the same phrases I just gave you over and over and over and over without even thinking about it. And that's where you need to get to. And that takes studying. That takes memorization. It takes you feeling comfortable. It takes you being the lion. And yeah, we'll be more than happy to have you as a member. And MedSpa Biz University is, oh my gosh, it's so much work. Let me tell you, it's 23 years of experience on that platform of educational programs to help you become better at what you do. So think of medical school. MedSpa Biz University is your business school. I'm going to give you an MBA. That's really what MedSpa Biz University is. So go ahead and join us. We'd love to help you. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Yes.
Jack wants to know how often that he should hold team trainings.
As often as needed. It depends on where your team is now. I compare, you hear me talk about NBA, NFL, this and that, all the sports team. It doesn't matter. Even pros train. They get paid millions of dollars and they're still training. So training should be part of your culture. Training should be part of your life almost every single day. If you don't train, you're not going to improve. It's really as simple as that. So if your team is not reaching the results that they should be reaching, I would train every day. If they're halfway there, maybe every other day. If they're already hitting their goals, maybe once a week. So it really depends on where your team is and the satisfaction that you have for the performance that they are producing. So that's a good way to answer that question. So as often as needed is the answer. Yes.
Maggie is wondering what should be retail sales expectations?
Oh, endless expectations. So, a lot of people like to use the method of service to retail ratios. So you sell a treatment for $100, how much should they buy? That's fine and dandy, but it really depends on the person that's sitting in front of you. If their skin looks like crap, then they must be using crappy products. So if they had a facial for you for $200, you should sell them a whole regimen, and that could be as much as $1,000. One cream is $150 to $200. By the time you do the cream, you do the vitamin C, you do the retinol, you do the cleanser, you do the toner, and set them up on a whole regimen, it's going to way exceed the price of the treatment in some cases. So the retail should be based on what your client's needs are. And what can you buy in the medical spa or a spa as far as products are concerned? Like, there's nothing cheap. Maybe the cleanser is the cheapest, and that's $30. So you do a facial for $200, you sell them a $30 cleanser. So we like to measure volume per guest instead of that ratio from service to treatment. I'd like to come up with a target for your place based on where are you now with your volume per guest. So take your retail revenue divided by the amount of clients that come in on daily basis or monthly basis or yearly. Find out what that volume per guest is now, and then start setting targets to improve it. That way they're not going into a shock. You're making progress based on where are you now and where can you go. So we have clients that average over $250, $300 in retail per guest. So every time they come in, they're buying $200 or $300 worth of retail products because they run out of things. So you have to replenish. So raise your expectations is what I'm trying to tell you. Raise your expectations, set those goals, those targets, and then start working towards them. Great. What else do we have? I've been talking a lot. All right. Let's see. What else did I have? I actually listened to this audio today. I listened to 2 audios this morning. I got up very early this morning. I'm still on Hawaii time. I just came back from vacation with my son. My son just got his master's degree. I'm so proud of him. So he lives in Australia, as some of you may know. And we met halfway. So I went from Florida to Hawaii, and he met me from Australia to Hawaii. And we spent 10 days together. So it was such a pleasure to see him. So I'm still on that time zone a little bit. All right, let's see. We talked about revenue targets, compensation, tie compensation to performance. So we talk about that a lot in the volume per guest compensation model. You definitely want to incentivize your team for retail sales. So once you implement the Pride system, they should be able to make a lot of money actually from retail sales. Yes?
Bree, she just wrote it on Facebook. She said, I love all your systems, and the Pride system made us see a major increase in retail, and her team totally bought into the philosophy. So thank you so much.
That's great. And those are the kind of comments we love to hear, you guys, because if you implement, that's the key, you have to implement. If you implement all the things we're talking about, it will definitely make a huge difference in your business. So, all right. Anything else? Yes.
Okay, from Gary, what type of rewards and consequences should I have for my team?
Yeah, so rewards are fun. You can come up with all sorts of ways to compensate them financially, first of all. And then you can do some fun contests if you like. And they don't have to be things that are extremely expensive. It could be a Starbucks gift card. It could be a movie ticket. It could be maybe a sports game, something like that. If they reach certain volume per guest, don't do first place, second place, third place. Those kind of contests don't work because once somebody's in the running, the rest are not going to try anymore. That just deflates the whole team. So instead, set revenue per guest targets, volume per guest targets, and whoever reaches that target wins. So you can give an opportunity for everybody to win, not just first place, second place, or third place. I always, don't like those. So, but anyway, it's up to you. As far as the consequences, those should be in your employee manual, and they should know those ahead of time. And if somebody does not reach their target over and over and over, then you're going to train them, first of all, with the I Care coaching model. Oh, I thought I had that here. But the I Care coaching model is a great place for you to start. So you start coaching them and training them and helping them. And then if they don't improve, then it's time to have the consequences. Then you can have a verbal warning, a written warning, another written warning, and then you invite them to leave to the competition. That's what you should do. This is the eye care coaching system. It's a great system, again, to implement within your place so you can keep improving your team's performance. So we don't want to go to consequences. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do. It's much better to develop them and train them and help them and keep them. That's the better way. But let's face it, if they don't, then they're only costing you money and disruption, and they need to go. So know when to let go. Yes.
So Isaac is asking, how can we avoid team conflict in selling between our front desk and our providers?
Oh,
They argue on which person gets credit to the sale, and one
That's-
provider switches out products that are recommended in the consultation when she does her treatments. What do
Yeah.
we do?
oh, we have a solution for that. That's the easiest thing to fix. So it all goes into the compensation model. So what we do is this. The guest relations team, or you call them the front desk team, we like to call them guest relations. By the way, we have an entire guest relations modules to help them know exactly how they're going to get compensated. And what we do for that, because that's a common problem in most facilities, you're playing a policeman and you're trying to decide who's going to get a commission for the same sale. You don't want to do that. So the providers should get their regular 10% or 8% or 5% based on revenue per guest. So they get that when they make the recommendation. The guest relations responsibility is to make sure that that sale gets rung and the client is going to leave with the products. So how we do that is by setting an overall target for all the sales that we want to sell for the month. And then we would give the guest relations team a very, very small percentage of all the sales. So now they're working as a team instead of fighting each other. There's no more wars. We have been teaching this for years. I'm surprised you have not gotten onto that yet. Maybe you're new to our community, but I can fix that for you like that. So give us a call. I'll be more than happy to show you all the details. And actually, it's all in the volume per guest compensation model that we also teach. And it will solve all your problems. And it'll make the whole team so united and helpful instead of fighting with one another. It's a beautiful thing. Yep. All right. Well, we're almost at the hour. I'm just going to take a couple more questions and then go over the shortcuts. Go ahead.
Lisa messaged, she said she came across the how to sell high ticket programs on YouTube and she loved it. How can she get better? She wants to implement. She said, how can I become better at asking for the large sums of money?
Yeah. So, I mean, we covered that a little bit earlier, but you just need to, again, be that lion and be fearless. And just what you offer, let's face it, is not cheap. There's nothing cheap in a medical spa. And people already know that. So they expect to pay high prices. And once you show the value, once you discuss the results that they're going to gain from their experience with you, then they're going to say yes to that amount. So just keep practicing, keep role playing, and things will become easier and easier for you. And if you don't practice and role play, and if you don't practice the sacred system that we teach, then you're not going to have that confidence. Confidence comes from knowing. Confidence comes from being sure of what you want to say. And nothing will stop you. So study. Go check out the Success with Guest Consultation. And that teaches you how to recommend those high-ticket programs and how to get them to say yes. It's a great program for you. All right, we have one more. I'll take one more and then we'll go over the shortcuts. Yes.
It's a team's question, so it kind of goes in lines on what you were saying about your employee training. It says, "Hi, Dora. You speak about team buy-in, which I love, but our team is older, and I can't get them to get on board. How can I change them to a more performance-based model so they are rewarded for making the change?"
Yeah, sometimes, you know the saying, you can't teach old dogs new tricks? No, I mean nothing ugly by that. Well, everybody can be taught. I think that's where you really should start. It doesn't matter how old they are, how long they've been with you. Things change. And you need to start there by, why is change important? There's a great book actually called Who Moved My Cheese? It's an oldie but a goodie. And it's a great book to actually go over with the team before you even start the change. And Who Moved My Cheese is a quick little book that you can read probably in half an hour. I would host a team meeting and talk about why change is important. I would launch a whole new fresh start is what we call it. I would pass out new position descriptions, new expectations, new goals, and ask for their buy-in. And give them like a day to decide on whether they really want to be part of this new movement in your business or not. And show them how you're going to help them change. Show them the business tools and things that you're going to train them on. And show them how this change is going to make their lives better. Even though we've been doing it this way for so long, now it's time for a new way because we are in a new year. We are in this century and things need to change. So they do great. If they don't, you can't hold on to old ways just because your team does not want to change. You just can't. So you can do your best to influence that mindset, get them to say yes, or you need to make a tough decision. So that's where I would start. But we definitely have the whole Fresh Start program laid out. So if you want to give us a call or call one of our team members, we can show you how we actually take many places like yours through the process. We do it every day, by the way. We work with teams that have been in locations for 15. As a matter of fact, we were doing a call this morning with Estique, and they have team members that have been with them for 17 and 18 years. And they made the change, and they are thriving. They just opened up their third location with teams that have been with them for a long time. So there's a lot of good people with good intentions. You just have to show them the way. So reach out. We can help you. Oh, okay. I'll take one more.
Okay, I thought this was a good one. I thought you might want to take this from Beth. If I'm just now creating a sales process, which phase should I start with? Just the purchase phase, or do I have to start at the beginning?
I don't quite understand the question. You want to start implementing the whole business model of what your goal is. So you want to start from the beginning? I don't understand what beginning. You want to basically roll out what you want to do new. And you want to make sure you have the products, you want to make sure you have the system, make sure you train the people, make sure they role play, and you implement it. So I don't know if I'm answering her question, but that's where I would start. So assess where you are now and then make the adjustments that are necessary.
I think she's wondering, Dori, does she have to go through the awareness phase, the interest phase, evaluation phases, and things
Absolutely. Absolutely. You need to go take your team through all those also. Like they need to be aware of where are they now, not only from a client standpoint, but also from your team standpoint. Because a lot of times your team is not aware of their expectations. Actually, that's probably one of the biggest problems we come across when we first take on a new client, is the team doesn't even know what their expectations are. We come across that all the time. So yes, that is the awareness. That's where you need to start. And then you take them through all the other stages. So, all right. So in the back of the book on page 187, we give you the shortcuts. And those are some of the systems that we talk about. So first, I would assess your sales process, and then make sure you implement the Pride system, get the team to role play and set new targets and goals for the team, and then start rewarding them for their performance. And then always, always, always train, and train some more. So that would be very important. And then I give you a list of all the inspiration management business tools. You have the Pride system, the Clarity system, the Eye Care system, the Sacred system. Those are all very, very important business tools to implement from MedSpa Biz University. So I hope that you implement and start generating a lot of revenue so your business can be in the black. All right, so the next chapter is going to be chapter 11, and we're going to talk about online revenue streams. So how can you increase your revenue from online sales? So that's going to be a great chapter. Make sure you join us. Make sure, again, you leave us some comments below, likes, and join our community. Go to YouTube and subscribe. We love to hear from you. We'd love to hear some feedback. And keep us posted to your progress. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you, team, for being with me today. Thank you for Arthur, our lion. Woohoo! Let's all be lions, you guys. Until next time, stay inspired. Bye now.